Hi Scorpios, how are you? Welcome to your December 2017 reading. Sorry it's late. I keep getting sick over and over and over again. And I tried to get all the videos out before December 3rd, before Mercury entered retrograde. And I knew that if I didn't, I already knew. I knew, and I fucked up on that. But anyway, I'm using a new deck. It's called the Ghetto Tarot. And it's by this woman named Alice Smeets, and she is a photographer from Northern Europe. And she went to Haiti and worked with a group of Haitian artists. So all the images in the deck, it's all Haitian actors, Haitian models, all the props were made by Haitian artists. I love it. I'm going to keep using it from here on out, and let me know if you like it. I will leave the description link below, so you can check out the deck on Alice Smeets' website. So anyway, let's get into your reading and let's figure out what's going on for Scorpio for December 2017. I feel like I'm having a really hard time focusing. Like, I feel like the energy that I'm picking up on is that there's like a lot happening in the relationship sector that's like really getting in the way of your ability to focus on what's right in front of you. So there's issues with that, and that there's some stuff that's coming up, and me personally, I'll be honest that the last couple of people that I've really ended up having situations with were Scorpios, where they pulled some shady shit and then acted like they didn't do it, or acted like they didn't know what was wrong about what they did. And then I'm sitting here in my Sag rising, like, you can't tell, like, you don't know what you just did, like, and it wasn't just me, it was, like, the Leo, the Capricorn, like, the Aries were all, like, what is this person doing in our, like, in our group of friends, like, what is this person doing? This person is just kind of, like, shitting on squad right now, so I guess I just kind of want to have a better understanding. And I live in a small town, right? So I live in a small town, and we all know each other's business. There's always drama that's like we all know about what's going on with the other person. And a lot of the people that tend to be like, yeah, so-and-so did what, or like this person over here is kind of acting out, usually I'm like, yeah, it's a Scorpio, so what's going on? And so, and at the same time, I have Scorpios in my life that I love, like my cousin. I love her so much, and she just creates such a safe space for me, and she is such like a beacon of truth all the time whenever I go to her with anything, any of my little cousin problems. She's like big cousin, and so I love Scorpio energy, and I have Scorpio in my 11th house, Pluto in my 11th house in Scorpio, and so I tend to have really intense relationships with Scorpios that almost kind of border on like her having romantic relationships with your friends, right? And then these events happen and occur where it's almost like, what the fuck just happened? Like, that was going so well, and then like Shady Nation showed up. Like, I don't know. It's like shady, yeah, just the shadiness that can kind of come up. And so definitely sort of trying to navigate that with also navigating my strong pull towards like Scorpio energy. And that I'm somebody that's attracted to people who really get down with regeneration and transformation and death and rebirth, and like that's been a huge theme of my life, and that Scorpios get that. But then there's also this part where like I have a hard time sort of also understanding sort of the actions that are taken, and then the lack, not even willing to admit to it or cop to it. So that's sort of where I've been at with Scorpio energy lately in the last year, is that the people that have actually really kind of like done me wrong, and everybody else around me is like, yeah, that's not right, And I'm like, yeah, like, what just happened? Like, I love this person very much. And then this thing happened. So I'm not quite sure, but, you know, every sign has their day. Everybody has that one sign that they kind of struggle with, you know? So let's get into the reading. Sorry, my computer froze. So yeah, let's get into it. Scorpio, December 2017. Scorpio, December 2017. Five of Swords. So someone or you definitely taking on energy of trying to outsmart, or thinking that you're outsmarting people, thinking that you can get the upper hand through pettiness, or thinking that you can get the upper hand through using disintegrous means as a way to get the results that you want, right? And this could be you, this could be somebody else, but this is energy that's very prominent right now. It's coming up, it's the first card that came up, right? So this is a general energy, that there is this sense of, like, the Five of Swords to me always kind of relates to an empty victory, right? Of, like, going out of your way to kind of manipulate or control the situation, and then even when you get what you want, it's like, it's not really even a victory because you had to exert all this energy to get it, right? And I get it, right? Like, I don't have a lot of Scorpio per se. I don't have a lot of planets other than Pluto, which is a generational thing, right, in my chart. But I have a lot of Pluto aspects, right? And I have very strong Pluto aspects. And I talked about some of these aspects in the Aquarius reading. But one of them that comes to mind is I keep thinking of Venus square Pluto, like Venus-Pluto aspects, right? Venus being the planet that talks about our relationships, not only romantic, but also how we draw and attract others to us, our social circles, things that we want, the things that we desire, beautiful things, right, our income. And with that being square Pluto, right, having that touch Pluto, what ends up happening is that there is this, and having an aspect like a square, right, there's this intensity or this drive to need to sort of control or manipulate how your relationships play out, how, in order to kind of have this false sense of security. And that even when you get the person, right, like say you've gone out of your way to kind of get this person to be with you or to be, right, and now you've gone out of your way and now you just kind of feel like, okay, I've gotten what I've wanted, but now we're both exhausted, and it doesn't even feel right because I had to go through all this shit to get this person to want to fuck with me and be with me and stay with me, because it's like I'm using that as a barometer for my security, and it's not even real, right? Because if that person can walk away from me, whatever. But if I walk away from myself, like if I can't find security within me, then like this is what you end up feeling like when you're chasing things and when you're trying to make things work, thinking that those things are going to give you security, when at the end of the day, it's really you that has to give you security, right? And Pluto is a planet that really has to deal with like getting to the nitty gritty of our insecurities and getting to the nitty gritty of like how we chase the things that we chase, usually as a result of childhood issues that aren't meant for us. Like, it's like, you've got what you've wanted, but you can't even carry all the swords. And now these two people are over here, you know, dealing with whatever it is that you just did or whatever they just did to you. And now there's this weird kind of imbalance of karma that now needs to get sorted out. So let's keep going. The cards aren't popping. Scorpio, December 2017. Scorpio, December 2017. I also feel like a lot of you might be wearing like a real strong poker face. Like, you're not willing to take the L, right? You're not willing to take the L. Take the loss. You're not willing to take it. And yeah, again, reiterating, like, even though we have this sense of victory here, it's like, but it's also feeling kind of greedy. Like, I have what I want, but it's not enough. I have these 3 cups in front of me, right? But it's not enough. Meanwhile, we've got the universe that's trying to offer you something else, but you can't even see it because you've got your hands full with whatever it is you just sort of did over here. And again, this could be vice versa, right? Like, you could be dealing with somebody who's treating you like this and who's treating you like an option. Like, what did Drake say? I'm more than just an option. Like, you're more than just an option. Is it an earth sign? Crusty earth signs. Let's take a look at the cards. Okay. So 5 of Swords, 4 of Cups, King of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man thus far. So if you're dealing with this earth sign, right? If you're dealing with this King of Pentacles who is showing up very prominent, right? Because they're showing up as a king. They're not showing up as a page or as a knight. They're showing up as a king. So this is somebody who I feel like you've been kind of doing this dance with, right? This balancing act with. And if you're dealing with this earth sign, they've got a lot that they're trying to figure out right now. They're balancing out a lot at the moment. They're trying to figure out a number of things in their life and how to sort of blend, right? How to properly balance and blend out all the different responsibilities that they have right now. I'm getting Capricorn, right? And Pluto is in Capricorn right now, right? So there could be this dynamic where Capricorns having Pluto in their first house could be a very sort of magnetic pull with Scorpio energy, because there is this theme of death and rebirth and regeneration happening with Capricorns right now. And that's what you guys deal with on a day-to-day basis, right? So I'm hearing Capricorn. Let's see what else is coming up. But there is like some games that are being played with, like there's some games, or like I feel like this person's focus is over here. This person's focus is on the balancing act, and I feel that as a result, there is this sense of feeling like left out in the cold. That like in order for you to kind of get the results that you want out of this person, or to get this person to see you, you're kind of resorting to means that like are beneath you. Like you're feeling a need to kind of manipulate. But that's only slowing things down. That's only creating more stagnancy, is that even a word? More stagnation, right, in this situation. It's only creating more of a standstill. And the standstill is happening because it's like, nope, stop what you're doing. You're not going to get it that way. Do it again. Nope, don't. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Do it again. We're not going to let this move forward if you're in this energy. You're going to sit here for a little bit and think about what you're doing. So I feel that whatever stagnation you're experiencing and trying to get this earth sign to see you, they're really busy right now. They're really busy right now. They might even have kids. Like they've got a lot of responsibilities, and you're on their radar. You're on their radar. But it's like they're not really appreciating if you're doing these games, right? They're not appreciating. And you may think that you have to do this because you think that they're doing it with you. They're not. They're in a balancing act. They're trying to get they're trying to get themselves ready, right? And if it's Capricorn, Saturn's about to move in there in their first house. Saturn's about to go home to Capricorn. So they're going to have Pluto and Saturn dancing around in there. Yeah. More struggle. The Death card. And I feel like the sooner you get honest about the ways in which you play this game, right? The sooner you get real, the sooner that you see things, the sooner you can see this game from a different perspective, right? The sooner that you can recognize that this game does not, like, it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve anybody in the situation, the faster you can actually get to, like, actually letting go of that, right? Because we have the Death card here. So there you are, death, right? Rebirth, regeneration. Because with every death comes a new beginning. Whoa. I really want to see what's going to come out here. Okay. And the Hermit. A lot of times they're getting the Hermit right now, and I think that the Hermit's coming up. 10 of Wands on the bottom. In this deck, they're called Brooms. Excuse me. Oh, God, I hate being sick. I'm so over it. So 10 of Wands on the bottom. And I just feel like that's the feeling that I'm getting from this reading is that, like, I'm just so over it. Like, a lot of you are kind of done with this petty shit. Because it's this pettiness, right? And this is also trying to have an upper hand on people because it becomes a power game, a power struggle, right? Even this card to me represents power struggle. 7 of Wands, you're fighting, doing your best to stay on top of the situation, to have the upper hand in the situation, right? And these brooms, these wands down here could represent feelings that you're trying to fight off, could represent realizations that maybe, like, this person isn't the right person for you, or that this person is just, they're doing their thing. And so them not coming to you is not necessarily them not wanting something with you. Like, this is an earth energy, right? It doesn't have to be an earth sign, but somebody who's very much focused on creating and building material wealth right now. Someone who's very focused on their career right now. Someone who's very focused on their responsibilities, their financial responsibilities, right? And they're really trying to balance these things out. They're really trying to get a feel of where you will fit into all of this. And I feel like with the new year coming up, that's been a theme for a lot of signs, for a lot of people, is, you know, where can I fit love in? Right? And I feel like on the bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands, that while this can represent a lot of great work being done, right? That there's also a feeling like this person's tired. Like, these games get really exhausting. Being here gets really exhausting. And so I feel that there's a call, right, for you to kind of observe and look at what is it that this, like, why this? Why this energy, right? Because even when you get what you want, it still doesn't feel like it's enough because you're here. So it's not enough to replenish you, right? It's not enough to replace all the energy that you've just exerted. And this person is still very much focused on, like, I've got shit to do. Let's pull a clarifier for this King of Pentacles. Can you clarify the King of Pentacles? Can we clarify the King of Pentacles for Scorpio? Yeah, Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups here. So this is somebody who is thinking about, well, I have this offer, I really like this person, I like this Scorpio, I want to fuck with them. So this is somebody who actually, like, is emotionally interested, right? I don't want to say invested quite yet because it seems like they have a lot. So to completely give to the emotional investment it wouldn't be the right time for them. But they're trying to think about when to move in on the offer. They're thinking about it. Right? And then the Knight of Cups speaks of love, romance, all those pretty things, right, that people want to offer. But it's like if you're in this energy here of feeling like you have to manipulate and control the situation, like you don't know how, like you have to let it unfold how it needs to unfold. And I feel like a lot of signs have been getting the Hermit as well. Because while I do recognize that the Hermit is the Virgo card, it's also a 9. It says 11 in the screen because it's backwards, but it's a 9 in Roman numerals when it's not backwards. And so I feel like we have Mercury going retrograde in Sagittarius, right? In the night, like in that ninth house with those ninth house energies, Sagittarius energies of inner wisdom, inner knowing, connecting to your highest self, connecting to your higher wisdom, right? Like there are facts, there's knowledge, there's knowledge that we can tangibly see, and then there's knowledge that exists within us that we almost can't really explain through logic. That it can only be explained through higher realms, quote unquote, higher education, right? Spiritual knowledge. So I feel that a lot of signs are getting this because we're Mercury in retrograde right now in Sagittarius. And so there's some heavy reflection that's going on, right? Sagittarius is in your second house. So Mercury's going retrograde in your second house. And so this could also be you really observing, like, well, what's my value? What's my worth? How do I communicate that to people? How am I utilizing my skills? How am I utilizing my talents and my abilities to manifest the things that I want? I want to clarify this Death card. Can you clarify the Death card for Scorpio? That's a whole nother reading. Excuse me. Oh, God. They went all over the place. Let me clarify the Death card. The Moon. I kept seeing the Moon. So I feel that at the Sagittarius new moon, which is happening, I believe, on Sunday, which I'm not sure what's that day. The 17th of December? I know that it's happening on a Sunday. But there needs to be a reevaluation and a calling in of a new way of sort of exerting your self-worth, right? Because we exert to these methods, we exert to these means when we feel that our worth is not enough to get the things that we want. We are not enough to get the things that we want. And so now I have to resort to this means. I have to be manipulative and controlling, or I have to pull moves and tactics behind people's backs to kind of get what I want, to kind of get what I need, because I am not enough. I am not enough of a magnet. And I feel that during the new moon in Sagittarius, because we're also having Mercury going retrograde in that part of your chart right now, right? That there needs to be a reevaluation. There needs to be a new association and a new beginning in that second house area of how you view your work. Like, how do you view yourself? How do you exert your self-worth? Like, how do you, I can't think of the words right now, excuse me. how do you or don't you feel that you are worthy of getting what you want? Because when we don't feel that we're worthy of receiving the things that we want, we're going to be here. And then it slows, this behavior slows everything down, slows things to a halt, right? That even when you do get it, you're still not happy. So I feel like for the new moon, there needs to be some new intentions regarding how you step forward into relationships in terms of what you feel you need to do to feel worthy of that love, of what you need to do to get somebody to want to commit to you, to see you. Right? Let's clarify the Hermit for fun. Make a clarification for the Hermit. Let me clarify the Hermit. Let me clarify the Hermit. Okay. 7 of Cups. Kill those illusions regarding the Ace of Cups, regarding love, regarding how you give and receive love, regarding your worthiness, right? Because whatever Pluto touches, it makes things incredibly intense. To the point where if it's not built on a sturdy foundation, like this is not a sturdy foundation. So you should know better. Like you're the Tower. You are good at really dissolving the falsities and dissolving the bullshit other people want to feed you. But on the other end of that token, you're very familiar, right? With the mechanisms of that same bullshit. Like you know how it works. You know how it operates. The reason why you can destroy it so well is because you can see it. You can engage in it too. You know what it is that you're doing. Right? So I feel like with the Hermit, clarified by the 7 of Cups, it's really observing and looking at the illusions that you've created for yourself regarding your self-worth. Whether they're grandiose or completely self-effacing, right? Like, you have to really look at the illusions that you created for yourself around how you express your sense of self, how you express your sense of self with regard to your worth. I'm really feeling strong, like that word worth keeps popping up. Worth, worth, worth. That when we don't feel we're worthy, we have to fight for things. Don't you know you're a magnet? You can have whatever you want. And you're sitting here fighting for all these things. For this person who, like, really cares about you. But they're not going to stick around for this crap. They're not going to. Because then you feel like a prize to be won. You feel like, then you end up feeling like they may feel like, oh, I'm just something for them to possess, right? Like, are you just trying to possess people? Are you just trying to possess, like, what is this? You know? So at the new moon, really, you know, it's going to be hard. Strength card popped out. It's going to be difficult. It's not easy. But yeah, I feel like for the new moon in Sagittarius, there needs to be a new sort of, there needs to be a death, right? And there needs to be a rebirth in that second house activity of self-worth and possession and possessing, needing to possess other things. Letting go of that. And allowing a new way of relating, right, to your lovers to come in. That Taurus house, that sensual house. Let's pull an outcome card. Outcome for Scorpio for December 2017. Outcome for Scorpio for December 2017. Nine of Cups. We want to return to that, don't we? That's the Six of Cups. Sorry, there's like no numbers on the cards. I have to remind myself to say what it is. Nine of Cups. So I feel that through recognizing the mechanisms behind this behavior, that it doesn't really work out for you, that it's not really for you to engage in, for anybody to really engage in. You can have what you want. You don't have to manipulate to get it. You don't have to have your hands all up in it to get it. You really don't. You can have what you want. It's the card of dreams and hopes and wishes coming true. And being very firm and confident in your own abundance, possessing yourself, possessing your own wants and desires, right? Not allowing them to possess you, but you possessing them. He's not controlled by these cups. He controls these cups. These cups answer to him. And he's firm in his belief that I can have what I want. I don't have to really do anything. And I certainly don't have to resort to these means to get the things that I want. So there is somebody, right, this earth sign with this Knight of Cups here, who has the potential to really actually offer you, like, but it's an earth sign. They move slow. They take their time. They're not really overcome by passion in the same way. There's a guy that I like right now a lot. His Venus is in Capricorn. So he's not going to be overcome, right, by like waves of passion in the same way that I might be. But it doesn't mean that it's not going, it doesn't mean that it's not moving, right? Because I don't see it happening in the way that I think it needs to happen. Earth signs do things differently. They're a little bit more slow, they're a little bit more cautious, right? And they can compartmentalize a little bit better, right? Because I have a Cancer moon, so I understand that watery energy and how it can kind of spill into all areas of our lives, that when we get in our feelings as water signs, water moons, like we get in our feelings and then it's like, oh my God, like this is like invading and inundating my entire life. Not so much with earth signs. They can be like, all right, I have this over here and I have this over here. But don't turn it into a game with them because they're not going to stick around for it. They're not going to appreciate it. It's your job. It's coming up for you. This is coming up for you as a way to learn how to not, right? And like the Death card by the King of Pentacles could indicate that if some of you have been really hardcore in this energy, right? Like they may not want to stick around. That may be the end of that between you and this person. But this is for what's to come. So if y'all are considering, right, sort of feeling that you have to resort, because this comes from a place of fear. So if you feel like you're having to resort to having to do things or send text messages or not send text messages, right, as a way to kind of get them to see you, it's not really going to work. And it's only going to slow things down with the Hanged Man here. It's only going to create stagnation. It's only going to create more opportunities for you to have to learn why this is not an appropriate means of getting what you want in your romantic life. That's all it's going to do. All right, Scorpio, so that's your reading. And I will see you all in January. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and love to you all. And I'll see you all next year. Bye.